So I'm going to be talking to you guys about the absolute value in a complex plane. And the complex plane is basically kind of like a real axis, but the bottom axis is the part where you have the real numbers, and the vertical axis is where you have your imaginary numbers. On this plane, you can plot any complex number of the form a plus bi, where a is on this bottom and the bi part is on top. We call the hypotenuse the absolute value because the hypotenuse of a right triangle is always positive, and we can get the length of the absolute value by just using the Pythagorean theorem. We know that this bottom side is a, the length of it is a, so we can call that a squared, and this side here is b, so we can say that that is b squared. So we can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the absolute value of a plus bi. So to specifically get what this absolute value of a plus bi is, we can take the square root of both sides to get rid of the squared. So the absolute value of a plus bi is the square root of a squared plus b squared. So let's do an example. It says find the absolute value of 5 minus 3i. So here our a is 5 and our b is negative 3. So the absolute value of 5 minus 3i is just equal to the square root of 5 squared plus negative 3 squared. You don't need to include the I because the formula only calls for b. So now let's just evaluate this. We have the square root of 5 squared, that's 25, plus negative 3 squared, that's 9. So we have 25 plus 9. And that is equal to the square root of 34. So the absolute value is just the square root of 34. So let's try out another one. Since in this case here, we have a 7 with an I next to it, this is actually b because we have I next to it. And so if we were trying to find the absolute value of it, the absolute value of 7i is just the square root of 7 squared because that's the only thing we have in there. And the absolute value of 7 squared is just equal to 7. So this is the absolute value of 7i.
So this is how you can find the absolute value of a complex number, and in the next video I'll be showing you guys how to turn a complex number into polar form. So stay tuned.